Hello and welcome to Rock Your Block. I'm your host, Tia Young, and I'd like you to welcome to the studio today Miss Charelen Watkins Byrd, Senior Housing Counselor for First Home Alliance in Woodbridge, Virginia. Charelen is an experienced housing professional with a vast knowledge of new programs designed especially to help today's homeowner. So often applications are not approved because the paperwork is incorrectly filled out. Today, Charelen and I are going to focus on the importance of filling out paperwork properly to get that approval. Charelen Watkins Byrd, welcome to Rock Your Block. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Charelen, before you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with First Home Alliance, who is First Home Alliance?
First Home Alliance, as you stated before, we're located in Woodbridge, Virginia. We're a local nonprofit organization that was established in 2004, and our mission is to basically provide housing to low to moderate income families.
Okay, very good. Now you can tell us a little bit about yourself and about your role.
Okay, a little bit about myself. I entered the mortgage industry in 2004 as a loan processor, and I started working with First Home Alliance in September of 2006. So almost 7 years I've been with the organization.
Okay, and what do you do as you are a senior housing counselor now? So what do you do? What is your day like?
Okay, so my day basically, like you stated, I'm a senior housing counselor, and my day or my role is to be an advocate to the homeowner on the, to assist them in getting that positive resolution with that servicer. And so on a day-to-day basis, I try to prevent individuals from losing their home. Right.
So if I were looking for a new home, or either I was in trouble with a foreclosure or just can't make my mortgage, you would be my first line of contact with First Home Alliance?
The first line of contact, basically, when the individual were to reach out to First Home Alliance, they would speak with one of our program assistants. I would be basically speaking with that individual after documentation is received and appointments are scheduled. So the first person that you would speak with would be our program assistant.
Oh, okay, I see. Now, is First Home Alliance a national organization? Is it all over the United States, or is it just located here in the Virginia area?
No, First Home Alliance is just located in the Virginia area. We serve the metropolitan area.
Oh, okay, so you serve Washington and,
yes,
and Maryland as well. Oh,
yes,
okay. I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Tell us about some of the programs. Do you have new programs, or do you have several programs that you work with?
Some of the new programs that have been established last year, to be specific, February 2012, the Making Homes Affordable Tier 2 program was created. And that program itself is a genre of programs within the Making Homes Affordable Tier 2, which would include the Making Homes Affordable, the HARP 2.0, and then the unemployment program.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about which each of those programs do?
So the Making Homes Affordable Tier 2, that program is basically geared towards individuals who may have already received the Making Homes Affordable program, Tier 1, and maybe their circumstances has changed, declined even further, and they're still unable to make that modified payment. As long as it has been 12 months from the time that they received the initial Making Homes Affordable program, they're eligible to reapply, which would be the Tier 2 product. Now, the HARP 2.0 product. Now, this product basically is geared towards individuals who aren't late, who has lost a lot of equity in their property, and they're current, they're on time, but they want to get in on these awesome interest rates that we have right now. And so as long as that home is owned by Fannie or Freddie, then that individual is eligible to apply for the HARP 2.0.
Okay. So now go back a little bit and help me understand what is the biggest difference between the Tier 1 and the Tier 2
Yes.
project.
Okay, so basically, Making Homes Affordable Tier 1 was designed to assist individuals who mortgage payments was more than 31% of their gross monthly income. But it had some stipulations in there that kind of ruled out a lot of people. So if you fell into a hardship, but this wasn't your primary home, then unfortunately you weren't eligible.
This is like investors, people
Right.
with investment property.
So your investors, they weren't privy to this product. Now the Making Homes Affordable Tier 2, now they've opened the doors up. So if this isn't your primary resident, now you're still eligible to receive assistance, which, as we look at it, it still helps the community because a home is a home, whether it's primary or whether it's investment, it still, affects the community when it goes to foreclosure. Right. And so that Tier 2 product, it opened it up for our investors. It also opened it up for some people who basically were on that borderline. They were right at 29 or 28%. Well, if you were at 29, 28% of your gross monthly income, for the Tier 1 Making Homes Affordable product, you weren't eligible. And so the Tier 2 product, that ratio for your income goes from 15% to 45%, which now opens the door for more applicants to be approved.
Mm-hmm. So this may be a curveball question, and if you don't have that information, here today, that's okay because it just came up. You said 31% of a person's income. Have you had occasion to see people with ratios higher than that 31, where their homes were almost 50% of their income? Is that?
Oh yes.
Is that?
Oh yes.
Really?
We've seen individuals where their monthly payment was almost 70% of their gross monthly income.
Get out of here.
Where it was basically, without a shadow of a doubt, unaffordable.
Well, is that something coming from that person refinancing, or is that how the loan started out at 70%?
No, it's a combination. Mm-hmm. It's a combination of a refi, definitely an individual refinancing and the market dropping, mm-hmm. but it's also the economy. So imagine you were making, which I've had several clients, making 6 figures, $100,000 a year, mm-hmm. and now you're laid off, and you go from making $100,000 a year to $1,200 a month in unemployment. So that puts you at that 70 to 80% of your gross monthly income.
And there are people that really are
going
through that even today. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned about interest rates. What are the interest rates now?
I can't quote exactly because I have not looked at it today, but
mm-hmm.
it was roughly around, I think, 3.5%.
Okay, so that's just up a little bit because at one time I was
lower.
hearing about 2% loans, which
actually that 2% in modifications, yes, and the Making Homes Affordable program. If we talk in terms of that. Yes, the Making Homes Affordable program is designed to reduce the individual's monthly interest rate on their loan to 2% for the first 5 years.
Okay, all right. So in your estimation, do people really know about the products that you just talked about? Because I still hear a lot of people, they're going around in circles. They don't know what to do. So I'm wondering if we have a large segment of our population who don't even know about mm-hmm. the products that you offer in this vicinity.
I do believe there's still a large population that have no clue of the products that are out there to assist them. They think, I've lost my job, that's it, I have to pack up and move. And some individuals do just that. They lose their income and they just move.
They just move from the house. They don't let anybody know.
They just move from the house.
Right.
And so I do believe there's a large population who are not aware of the assistance that is here to help them sustain home ownership.
Wow. And so when a person does that, is the first reaction with the bank, what do? They come, they try to locate them, or they just immediately take the house over?
No. What happens is, what we always say is communicate, okay? Yeah. So when a person shuts down, when they lose that income and they shut down and they don't communicate between mm-hmm. themselves and that servicer, then they don't know what's going on. They don't know what
Right.
what your situation is. They don't know what the intent is. And I think our role as a housing counselor is to make sure we convey that intent to that servicer that, yes, my borrower wants to stay in this house. They have the income if you're able to assist them, but they want to stay in this house. They don't want to just disregard their responsibility.
Right. I understand that. Well, we are going to take a short pause for a station break. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with Charlene.
American dream is to own your own home, but that dream can quickly turn into a nightmare.
We were doing real good there for a while. The workman's comp check was cut out. We started running into financial difficulty.
We used our credit cards. Everything was awful. We had to go bankrupt.
When my monthly payments doubled, I didn't know what to do. And as a single mother, coming up with the extra money was difficult.
All is not lost. First Home Alliance can help save your dream. First Home Alliance was established in the state of Virginia in 2002. As a HUD-approved nonprofit housing counseling agency, we help the low and moderate income community, first-time home buyers, and homeowners in distress.
First Home Alliance was able to help me get my mortgage adjusted, and now my monthly payments are affordable.
Just everything in the class. I'd never been through any of this before, and it was extremely knowledgeable. When I'm talking to Shauna, something comes up, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I did learn that.
I can honestly say Larry was very, very helpful. I mean, anything that came, in my email or in front of me, he was right there to answer any question.
Act now. Don't let your dreams slip away. Call First Home Alliance today.
Everything's fine. And it was fine. We still can't believe it.
We're back from station break with Miss Charelen Watkins Byrd, Senior Housing Counselor for First Home Alliance. Charlene, prior to the break, you were sharing with us about the program, giving us explanations about the types of programs that you have. Mm-hmm. Now I kind of want to shift to another area, and that's about something that most of us hate to do, and that's paperwork. That is paperwork, and I'm thinking, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that sometimes, a lot of times, applications are not approved because the paperwork is so sloppy and is so inaccurately filled out. So we want to talk about that a little bit. Can you tell me, if a person needs help, what is the first thing that they should do if they find out that either one, they're not late on their mortgage, but they know that something's about to happen to their income? Maybe a husband or wife lost a job. What is the first step they should do to try and get help?
Well, my recommendation would be the first step is to contact that bank or servicer and let them know the situation. It's basically what we call imminent default, meaning I'm current, but in the next 90 days, I could very well be in default. And so we recommend that you contact that servicer or that bank, let them know the situation, and then visit www.hud.gov and find a local nonprofit in your area to assist you with submitting for a modification to reduce possibly that monthly payment.
Well, let me ask you this, because I have known personally of families who went crazy trying to contact their bank, and they never got a response. Either they were kept on a line for an hour, or they were passed from one, desk to another desk, and they just got frustrated after months of not being able to get any feedback from a bank. So would you suggest that they bypass even doing that and just go into the HUD website and trying to work something that way first? I mean, I know that's a little out of the order, but what would you tell a person? What would they do?
Yes, if that individual has reached out to that servicer or that bank and they've gotten no response, time is of essence. And so if that individual has reached out to that servicer and it's been at least 7 business days and you haven't gotten any type of response, then of course, by all means, you bypass that servicer. You visit www.hud.gov, you find your local nonprofit, and you reach out to them to be an advocate on your behalf to help you with this process.
Okay, so basically you're saying that making a call to your office is probably not the best way to get started on this. Is that accurate?
That is correct. That is accurate. It wouldn't behoove the individual to make a phone call to our organization because that's basically, more time. So what we recommend is that you visit our website, which is www.firsthomealliance.org. You're going to click on our services. From there, you'll see a drop down that says foreclosure help. And there's a list of documentation that the individual would have to download and submit to First Home Alliance.
Right. Speaking of documentation, can you tell us what some of that documentation would entail, and also how difficult is it to fill out? Is it something fairly simple to fill out, or is it involved?
Oh no, it's extremely simple. It's very self-explanatory. We're just asking for your basic demographic information. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, if you scroll down on that page, where you click our services and then you click foreclosure help. On that page, you'll scroll down and it's a workout package. And what that workout package entails is the intake, our disclosures, a spending plan, which just lets us know what do you have coming in, what is going out. A 4506T, which is a document that the servicers or the bank require to pull an individual's tax transcripts, mm-hmm. and then request for modification affidavit, which is a standard form that the government requires if you are applying for the Making Homes Affordable program.
Okay, so now they've gone to the website, they filled out the forms. Mm-hmm. How do they get that information to you? Do they put it in mail, or how do you get that information? Okay,
so there's 3 different ways to get us that information. And the first, of course, is to fax, which our fax is 703-580-8842. And so if a person has access to a fax, we recommend that they send that via fax. Mm-hmm. They can also scan their workout package and email that to us at help@firsthomealliance.org, or if they don't have access to a fax or to a computer to scan the documents, they can mail the information to our physical address, which is 3138 Galansky Boulevard, Suite 202, and that's Woodbridge, Virginia, 22192.
Okay, good. Very good. So, all right, now they have gotten the paperwork to you, and what do you do when you get it? Walk us through that.
Yes. Okay, so upon receiving the documents, our program assistant, they're going to go through each individual piece of paper to make sure everything is filled out accurately. So making sure that you put your name, birth date, social, property address, accurate loan number, mm-hmm. Making sure that we ask for supporting docs such as your paycheck stubs and your bank statements, making sure that those documents are within the last 30 days, because a lot of times the main reason documentation is kicked back from the bank or the servicer is due to it being outdated. Oh, okay. And so we're going to verify all of that information. And so from there, once that package is processed, then our program assistants will contact that homeowner and schedule a one-on-one appointment. I think what we've lost in this process is the humanity of it. Usually you just talk to someone over the phone, and they can't see your fears. They can hear it, but they can't see the desperation in your eyes. And so I think by us scheduling that one-on-one appointment, I want you to come into my office. I want to see your face. I want to understand the fears and the stress that you and your family is going through, so I can assist you. And I have that human factor of it. And you can see that I'm real, I'm here, and I want to help you. And you're not going to get an automated individual on the phone who tells you that you'll be receiving a phone call within 7 business days.
Right. Well, when you have that visit from the family, let's say it's a husband and wife, what are the chances that both come in? Is it just mostly, men coming in to deal with this, or are you able to get the couples to actually come in and sit down and go over this?
Well, the demographics of our clientele is a lot of single family households, and in reference to our one-on-one appointments, a lot of time is one or the other, and that's just simply because individuals don't want to take off work. their job is on the line, or they just received this job, so they can't take off work.
Okay. So let's say I'm the person that has filled out this form. It's illegible. You can barely read it. I put in information that is obviously not correct or maybe not even true, doesn't match up with some of the documents that I have sent you. So you've called me in to come in so we can sit down and go over my application. And I'm just angry and mad because I hate paperwork and, I don't want to be in this situation. I'm embarrassed. How would you handle me? How do you handle people that come in like that?
We get a lot of anger. We get a lot of anger. Why is this happening to me?
Right.
I'm a responsible person. I pay my bills. I should not be in this situation. And my role is to calm that individual down and let them know that how you stay in control of this process is you create a plan. And so that's what we're here to do today. We're going to create that plan, which is one, we're going to see if we can get a modification. If we can't get that modification based on the guidelines and your information, then we need to create a contingency plan. You're in control of this because we have plans. And so once you put that plan out there on the table for that individual, so now all this chaos, now you have organized chaos, so to speak, and you have a plan, then you can see the stress kind of just deflated from that individual. I had an individual yesterday that said, I feel so much better just because we discussed and now I know what we're going to do.
Right. Well, let's say that we go through what you just said, but somehow I'm going to lose my house. I mean, you've done everything that you can do and I'm just not going to have it anymore. Is there something you can do to place me somewhere until I can get on my feet, or is it at that point you're on your own?
No. And so that's one of the things that we let our homeowners know from day one. We are in this process together from the beginning to the end. And end meaning if that individual, we're here for a resolution, okay? And a resolution does not necessarily mean that that person was able to keep that home. A resolution, a positive resolution, meant that that person did not experience foreclosure. So if we submit for a modification on an individual's behalf and unfortunately they're denied, the income is just not there, then we recommend that they short sell their property. And we'll work with them in finding a real estate agent, finding a referral, and then making sure that they have a transition from homeowner back to tenant.
Right. What is a short sale? Okay. I know that can be complicated, but can you give like a easy explanation of a short sale?
The easiest explanation that I can give for a short sale is simply the bank is taking less than what is actually owed.
Okay, that's what they're doing. All right. Well, this is an eye-opener, especially the part that you say that you do not leave anyone really at the table. If it's a critical situation where they are going to be foreclosed on, that you work with them in trying to help them find someplace to land until they can get back on their feet. Mm-hmm. Do you have people that come in that are so irate that you have to have them removed from the office? Have you ever had that?
No, we haven't.
Had that. That's good.
We haven't.
That's real good. Well, this is an eye-opener. I've really enjoyed having you here.
Thank you.
I want to thank you so much. We're just about out of time, and I think that this calls for a sequel. You know, we need to come back and share some more with us about this because a lot of people are going through all sorts of turmoil with the current economic crisis. I know you hear the news saying things are getting better, but still there are too many of us that are still out there, just kind of hanging out there. So we want to see you back again on Rock Your Block. And the one thing that you have said, that it is very critical that we take our time and fill out the paperwork, even though we hate to do it because it wastes time when you don't do it correctly and you have to go back and do it all over again. But thank God you are there to help. We want to thank you for watching Rock Your Block, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.